ain't trying to work, sir. It's not a time to serve. It started 10 minutes. It ain't trying to work.
Please come to the front table.
Let me see. I hit them both up. Let me take a picture of it and send it to you.
It's called salad. Please eat your salad.
Hey, I'm going to have to call you right back.
So that you may be served. We have a hard starting time. 7:45. We're going live. So all of you need to know. I should tell you. 7:45. 7:45. We're going live. And we decided not to take us while we were eating, just in case there was some accidents. So 7:45. Best face on, a clean face on, and we will begin.
This camera's gonna be in a death of me. I keep forgetting I'm going right in front of it.
Slide up to the INT.
Thomas please assume your place and we will begin? For more than 70 years, the Southern University Law Center has been cultivating and shaping legal minds whose work in the legal and political fields would forever change the landscape of America. The first dean of the law school, A.A. Lenoir, envisioned that Southern law graduates would join and be at the forefront in the battle for civil rights and equal justice. Through its Hall of Fame, the Southern University Law Center family pays tribute to alumni who have taken the charge and committed themselves to a life in law worthy of note and who inspire our recognition and expressions of gratitude at this hour. The Hall of Famers are recognized for their outstanding career accomplishments, commitment to betterment of the community, and tremendous support to the law center. Tonight, 5 inductees were selected from among more than 4,500 law alumni. Let's sit in that for a minute. I think they're kind of a big deal. We're going to call them the Fabulous Five tonight. Fabulous Five for 2021 to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Their portraits will be placed in the atrium of A.A. Lenoir Hall. They join other 97 members of the SULC Hall of Fame who have been recognized since 2003. Their names are listed in your program. Through their great work, the members of this elite group have made an indelible mark on not just our community, but in communities throughout the nation and the global community. When you hear your name, please stand by the Chancellor. It is our pleasure to announce the 2021 inductees. Their bios are listed in the program. After receiving your recognition, taking a photo with Chancellor Pierre and Robin Thomas, each of you will be given a few minutes for remarks at the podium. Now this is when we fall out, because I'm talking to lawyers. I know it is hard. It's going to be difficult to keep a lawyer to 3 minutes for remarks. We know this is your night. And we are here to just give you praise. But if you stay here long, you're going to have to sit down. Through the parents, we've learned. Let me just say this: we've learned to do better, right? When we do this, and so each year gets better. And I know that this Fabulous Five is going to do like 2.59 minutes. The first inductee this evening is Charles Cravens, class of 2017. 2007, he's just so young. 2007. Charles Cravens is an Army veteran and husband of Mona Gobert Cravens. He is the father of 4 and a grandfather of 4. He is the son of the late Armis and Edmonia Cravens. His mother was a homemaker and later in life an elder care worker. His father was a laborer and a small cotton farmer. His father couldn't read and write. His mother didn't drive a car until she was in her 40s. Through his parents, he learned the intrinsic value of humanity and developed a lifelong passion to be a voice for the voiceless and an advocate for oppressed and abused. Cravens has an extensive resume of public service in this state. In the early 1990s, he was a regional director and governmental Affairs Coordinator for the 4th Congressional District in 1997. Charles was appointed Chief Administrative Officer of the St. Landry Parish District Attorney's Office. While working full-time in that position, Perkins attended Southern University Law Center, where he was selected to the Southern University Law Review and graduated magna cum laude. He has served as Assistant District Attorney, First Assistant District Attorney of the 27th Judicial District, St. Landry Parish and District Attorney. He has served as counsel to numerous St. Landry Parish grand juries over the last 12 years. Perkins believes in the servant leader model and sees a leadership role as a tool to enhance service. The ultimate goal is to serve the interests of the community and the individuals who comprise the community. He believes everyone has a right to be heard, and that justice is not justice unless it is administered equally. He is an advocate for fair policies that serve the forgotten and not only the powerful. Perkins has served as an adjunct professor at Southern University Law Center, lecturing on the administration of criminal justice, is president of the Trustclair of Perkins Trustclair, a professional law corporation which focuses on complex litigation. Has served as chairman of the board for the trustees of the Health Education Authority of Louisiana, vice chairman of the advisory board of the Louisiana Boards of Pharmacy Prescription Drug Monitoring Program, elected to the Democratic Party State Central Committee, is a member of the St. Landry Parish Democratic Party Hall of Fame, and is a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. He has been lead trial attorney in scores of matters, including civil and criminal cases, in federal, state district, and city courts. He has argued before the Louisiana Court of Appeal for the 3rd Circuit, the United States 5th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the Louisiana Supreme Court. For the past 35 years, he has been co-host of the Perkins Brothers Zydeco and Information Show, along with his brother and nephew, where they provide important social and political information and news combined with music and laughs. Perkins now devotes the majority of his time to his private practice, where he handles and has handled a wide variety of cases, including mass tort litigation, clergy abuse, personal injury claims, and corporate representation. But at his heart, he's just a country boy, raised on a small farm in Manette, Louisiana, who loves fig pies and syrup cakes. Please join us in a salute to 2021 Hall of Fame inductee Charles Perkins.
Take your vote for the record out. When I came here, I asked Ms. Alford how much time we had to speak, and she said, I have a hook, 3 minutes. So all week, I have this thing that I do. I often speak, as many of you do, I'm sure, and I never write speech. And my process is that in the days approaching the occasion, I just look for things that catch my attention. And I use that to formulate what I'm going to talk about. This week I was unable to come up with anything. And I said, God, what's the deal? You always give me inspiration. And I realized after I spoke to Miss Alfred that the reason he just didn't want to waste my time, because Miss Alfred was going to pull me off here anyway. Let me start, or let me continue by introducing my wife, Norma, and my children, Charlotte, Allie, Monique is the one with the extra hair, and Alex. And also my law partner, Frank Trusclair, and Earl Taylor, District Attorney, my brother Joseph. I want to thank you all so much for being here with me tonight. I also understand that some of you, I didn't know this until this week, but some of you paid $100 to come here tonight. So I want you to know that about 2 weeks from now at the Smoothie King Center, we're going to be doing this all over again. And if you pay another $100, you get to hear the full speech. It's such an honor to be here tonight. I really, part of me still can't believe that an institution that I hold in such high regard, Professor Jones, Professor Martin, an institution that means so much to me and means so much to this state and this nation, is inducting me into its Hall of Fame. It's really hard for me to fathom that. I was thinking when Dr. Collins was giving the invocation, she said that we, as alumni of the Law Center, have an opportunity to shape the justice system. So I'm going to use what remains of my 3 minutes to tell you about this. Where are we now? We're at 0 already? Come on, don't do me that. You heard, a lot about me from Ms. Alfred, and so you know that I was district attorney of St. Andrew Parish. On my way here tonight, I received a text, and I know we're live streaming, so I won't use the last name, but I want to tell y'all about a young man I met some 20-something years ago. His first name is Joey. Joey was caught with a pound of marijuana, a pound of weed, charged with possession with intent to distribute, and at the time Joey was arrested, there was a mandatory minimum 5-year sentence for possession with intent to distribute marijuana. And somehow, I didn't know Joey, but somehow he's found his way to me. And I realized that prison would do Joey no good. And putting Joey in prison wouldn't do anybody any good. And so we put Joey into a pretrial intervention program through the grace of Earl Taylor, who was our district attorney at that time. And Joey lived a wonderful life. He was a bricklayer. He was he made sausage, crackling. Just a wonderful guy. Has a beautiful family. After Joey, there were countless young men and women who we were able to help to shape their lives in much the same way. On my way here tonight, I received this text message. Message says, "Hey Charles, it's Vanessa. Don't know if you know that Joey died Wednesday of a massive stroke. Services this Wednesday in Freeload. Thanks." I haven't had the heart to respond to that message yet. But when I heard Dr. Collins speak and talk about our opportunity to shape the justice system, I was reminded of that text. I was reminded of Joey. And I was reminded of the opportunity that we have to make a difference in this world, in many lives. I am so proud to be part of this family. There's an article in the Bar Journal this month, you need to read about the creation of Southern University Law Center written by Professor Stevenson. I am so proud to be a part of this family. I'm proud to be an inductee into the Southern University Law Center Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you. Trina Alexandra Ind. Inductee Trina Alexandra Ind is a senior counsel, compliance officer, and global inclusion diversity champion with Philips North America LLC, the largest subsidiary of the Netherlands-based Royal Philips. As the lead legal advisor of government sales and compliance, and a member of the executive leadership team. Her role is challenging, yet rewarding, as the federal government is Royal Philips' single largest customer amid the multinational conglomerate corporation's $22.5 billion in annual sales. Eden provides strategic legal and compliance support on all matters related to public sector bills and policy. She also provides support to members of the Royal Philips Executive Committee, Global Government Affairs, and Leadership North America. She works closely with business groups to ensure regulatory alignment, administers the Government Solutions Compliance Program, maintains an in-house bid protest practice, and leads negotiations in complex procurement transactions to include $646.7 million ventilator contract awarded last year, the single largest contract in Philips' 130-year history. Earlier this year, she received a 2020 Pinnacle Board Award, the highest ranking award in the company, typically reserved for top sales leaders. As a global inclusion and diversity champion, she is a vocal advocate and strongly supports Philips' mission to increase diversity and inclusion-related efforts across the country. She is a founding member of the Black Employee Resource Group, facilitates diversity and inclusion-related training, and is a frequent speaker on D&I topics to include unconscious bias, privilege, and psychological safety in the workplace. Prior to joining Philips in 2013, she was a commercial counsel with Motorola Solutions for just under 5 years. In that capacity, she advised Motorola's United States Federal Government Markets Division in the areas of government contracts, compliance, and telecommunications law. Before joining Motorola, she was an attorney with the U.S. Department of Navy, Office of the General Counsel for 10 years. As a senior associate counsel with OGC, she was counsel to the Navy Sea Systems Command Inspector General, a procurement litigation attorney focused on matters which required frequent travel in Avondale Shipyard in Avondale, Louisiana, NASCO Shipyard in San Diego, California, Bath Ironworks Shipyard in Bath, Maine, and maintained secondary practice in physical and telecommunications law. While in law school, she was selected to be one of 10 Navy OGC Summer Honors Law Clerks, which also happens to be in New Orleans, Navy's first experience with the Washington, D.C. area. After completing the 9-week clerkship and beginning her final year of law school, Trina received an advanced commitment offer of employment from OGC Navy to begin her legal career in Washington, D.C. upon graduation, and the rest is history, or better yet, her story. Some of you will get it in the card for it. History, her story. And I'll say it as a bad sister. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Mass Communications from Xavier University of Louisiana, a Diversity and Inclusion Certificate from Cornell University, and a Juris Doctorate from Southern University Law Center, where she was a member of Law Review and the Movie Court Board. In 2013, she was honored as a Southern University Law Center Distinguished Alumni of the Year at the National Bar Conference in Miami, Florida. As for her professional, community, and civic engagement, Edie is a member of the Louisiana and District of Columbia Bars, the National Bar Association, Leadership Greater Washington, Class of 2020, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Incorporated, Jack and Jill of America, Incorporated, and the Links, Incorporated. She served on the Board of Trustees of Family Matters of Greater Washington for 8 years, is the former General Counsel of the Greater Washington Fashion Chamber of Commerce, and a former board member of the DC Fashion Foundation. One of her proudest contributions was serving as the attorney coach to the mock trial at the Dr. Henry Wise High School, a public school in Prince George's County, Maryland. During their first 2 seasons, 2008 through 2009, and 2009 through 2010, the team finished first in Prince George's County both seasons, and respectively placed 3rd and 2nd amongst the 35 high school teams in Region 7 during the annual statewide competition. Edie resides in Bowie, Maryland with her 3 children, Carrington Chanel, age 16, Cortland Camille, age 15, and Prince Cameron Alexander, age 14. In her private time, she's an avid traveler, enjoys the performing arts, and indulges in new experiences with her children. Join us in congratulating Trina Alexandra Ind, a 2021 Annual Hall of Fame inductee.
Members of the Southern University Law Center family, the Southern University system, and friends. I am so grateful to have been selected to become a member of the Southern University Hall of Fame, and am especially honored to be among this class of Hall of Fame inductees, as they've done so much to elevate the legal profession, and whenever possible, our community, by providing first-class legal services and standing for what's right. Before I begin my reflections, I'd like to acknowledge and thank those who've been in the background, propelling me forward, and to be honest, propelling me forward and supporting me is not as simple as it may sound. It sometimes means picking me up, dusting me off, and pulling me along until I regain my way. That list, of course, includes my mom, Cynthia Alexandra Ind. Stand up, Mom. My stepfather, James Green. My aunts and uncle, my cousins who are more like my sisters, and my friends who've evolved into family like my study partners, who all 3 of them are here with me tonight. We haven't seen each other probably 10 years at one time. Close high school friends, wine sisters, all of which are present here tonight. To be a graduate of the Law Center means having the benefit of an exceptional legal foundation and being an excellent advocate while knowing you have the ability to compete and win. In terms of the excellent legal foundation from day one, literally, it was crystal clear we were not going to be fully committed to the journey of graduating from law school and becoming lawyers. It was not going to work out. Because success in this space does not come without enormous sacrifice. On day one, professors put such fear into the atmosphere and expressly suggest that we should save our time, money, and walk away like hens if we were not going to be fully committed to the journey. After briefly contemplating and deciding to stay, to be fully in for me meant giving up the white sundress and sky-high gold strappy sandals I wore on day one, and revamping my attire to sweats, t-shirts, and sneakers like everybody else, and digging into the work. I quickly had to learn my way past the fear and intimidation that the law can bring, and make friends with the law, which eventually grew to a passion for the law. A part of that journey included daily study, prep for classes, final exams, and eventually the search for some employment. During the summer that I worked for the Navy in DC, a few of the other law clerks would reach out to me to help them find cases that they couldn't find. You see, for starters, at Southern, we were all taught to research from the books, whereas the other law schools were taught to learn electronically first, which wasn't that a very good strategy when you consider not all organizations had electronic research tools. And with tough professors like the late Professor Tidwell, you had the ability to find anything by hand, which proved to be quite impressive when I was finishing a memorandum or signing, and several of the other clerks hadn't even been able to draft anything because they couldn't even find the law. In terms of excellency and advocacy at the Law Center, there was something built into the experience, even to this day, I can't quite put my hands around, that other law schools could not duplicate even if they tried. There was the spirit upon which the Law Center was founded. Of course, as you know, we heard tonight, our school was founded because a certain member of the Black community was not admitted elsewhere, and that's being nice. As such, we were founded for us, by us, at a time focused on the fight for civil rights. And while the law school has certainly evolved into a school where its alums are focused on a wide range of practice areas and are employed across a broad spectrum of organizations well beyond civil rights, there's something about having the spirit of a fighter and fighting based on our school's civil rights roots that stands out and distinguishes us from others in how we practice law. And then there is the ability to compete and win. My ability to compete and win against any person and or entity who thinks it's a good idea to come for me and my professional legal prowess when I did not sit for them is destined to lose each and every time. I know my practice area inside out. I stay on top of new developments, and I'm consulted at times by well-regarded professionals in my area for interpretation and thoughts about new rules that may eventually become law. It is because of this law center that boldness, tenacity, dedication, and resilience are part of my professional DNA. My training here allows me to channel and use all of the talents God gave me, most of which I wasn't even aware of, all over the world. The Law Center has afforded me the opportunity to lead and serve in extraordinary places and spaces among extraordinary people, and I will always represent for Southern law. And while that concludes my official comments and reflections, I have two more acknowledgements to share. I'd like to thank my children, Carrington, Portland, and Prince Cameron. Please stand if you will. I'd like to thank them for being my daily inspiration, for doing the best while taking complacency off the table. I owe a large part of my success because my desire is to be fair and provide for you in a way that ensures you are comfortable. You have everything you need and most of what you want. As Professor Russell Jones shared with us on day one of the law school journey, the practice of law is a jealous mistress. And for me, there have been more days than I care to count that my professional obligations have knocked up against my parental obligations as a single mom. And while I've done my best to create harmony while managing it all, I've not always been successful. And I've fallen short. I want you to know how much I love you. And I hope you having a front row seat to Mommy's professional journey will be helpful to you in some way along your way. And as last but not least, I am thankful to my grandma, who is no longer with us, Trina Alexandra. My mom had me at a young age, and my grandma stepped in and stepped up to raise me, refusing me to allow me to become a statistic to our environment at that time. She made sure I put in the work and helped to create very good study habits very early on. She walked me to and fro every day to Head Start and the Desire Florida Project. Every day. I had to complete all my homework before I could go outside and watch TV, and even then it only totaled an hour a day that I could do those things. She entirely didn't believe in the words "I can," and my kids will tell you I don't either. She emphasized to be truthful no matter what, and I do too. Again, she's no longer with us, but she resides in me. I know she's proud, and I dedicate tonight's Hall of Fame honor to her. Thank you.
Alejandro Perkins, class of 2004. Alejandro Rashad Perkins, fondly known as Al, is a native of Dallas, Texas. He earned his undergraduate degree in political science from Xavier University of Louisiana in 1999 and his Juris Doctorate from Southern University Law Center in 2004. After a 2-year judicial law clerkship for the Honorable Judge Wilson Fields at the 19th Judicial District Court, he joined Hammonds, Seals, Atkins, Geis, and Geis law firm. Al is a litigator specializing in complex litigation, general liability, labor and employment and education law, and in January 2013 became the youngest partner of the firm. Perkins' value system is strongly rooted in service to others. Through his active involvement in local, regional, and national legal societies, he has been able to use his personal achievements as a vehicle to inspire others. From 2015 through 2016, he served as the National Bar Association's Deputy General Counsel, appointed by then President Ben Crump. He served 2 terms as the president of the Louis A. Martinet Legal Society, Greater Baton Rouge Chapter, National Bar Association Director of Region 5, which includes Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and multiple terms on the Board of Governors for the National Bar Association. In December 2017, he was inducted into the 100 Black Men of Baton Rouge and is currently serving on the Board of Directors. In July 2016, Perkins was appointed by Governor John Bell Edwards to the Board of Supervisors for the
University of Louisiana UL system. 6 months later, he was selected by his fellow board members to serve as the board chairman and completed a 2-year term as the youngest chair in the history of the board. The UL system is the 18th largest higher education system in the country with an $800 million annual operating budget, over 92,000 students, and 9 universities, including Grambling State University, Louisiana Technical University, Nicholls State University, Northwestern State University, McNeese State University, Southeastern Louisiana University, University of Louisiana Lafayette, University of Louisiana Monroe, and the University of New Orleans. During his tenure as chair, Perkins oversaw 3 university president searches at Northwestern, McNeese, and Nicholls State University. He has been a member of several legal teams with cases valued at over $400 million. In the past, he has served as a court-appointed special master. He is in his 10th year of teaching trial advocacy as an adjunct professor at Southern University Law Center. He was selected by federal judge Carl Stewart to receive a multi-district litigation certification from Duke University Law School. He recently completed his certification in governing for nonprofit excellence from Harvard University. Al is a current fellow of the American Bar and Louisiana State Bar Associations. Perkins has been featured as a keynote speaker for various organizations and programs across the nation, including as a commencement speaker for Northwestern State University in 2017, a Louisiana Tech University in 2018, and the Executive Leadership Council 2018 Winter General Membership Meetings Panel on Higher Education. Perkins has the distinction of being recognized by both of his alma maters, Xavier University and Southern University Law Center. In 2015, Xavier University recognized Al as a top 40 under 40 for his vast accomplishments and service to his professional community. In 2013, Southern University Law Center honored him as a distinguished alumnus in recognition of his professional and unwavering commitment toward ensuring others have access to education. He received the National Bar Association President's Leadership Award in 2012, 2016, and 2018. In 2017, he received the Trailblazer Award from Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Incorporated. In 2018, the 100 Black Men presented him with the Community Empowerment Award. His proudest accomplishments is receiving his Eagle Scout from the Boy Scouts of America. In addition to his leadership in the legal community, Perkins is the former National Annual Fund Chair for Xavier University. He believes in paying it forward and is a strong financial supporter of Xavier University, Southern University Law Center, Bishop Dunn Catholic School, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Grambling State University, UNCF, NAACP, and the Good Street Baptist Church, to name a few. On May 10, 2019, Perkins received a Doctor of Humane Letters degree from Grambling State University in recognition of his service to higher education, leadership, and commitment to the community. In January 2021, his firm recognized his value and contributions by adding his name to the firm, which is now Hammonds, Seals, Atkins, Geis, Noah, and Perkins.
This is a major distinction, since nationally only a few majority-owned firms have a minority included in the firm name. And I'm going to take a little privilege here. He is by no means a minor. Okay, you are major. Perkins is a proud lifetime member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and is a member of the Masonic Lodge. In his spare time, he enjoys spending time with his wife Dina and his 3 daughters, Alexia, Zaria, and Nova. Listening to great music, developing business ideas, and offering his time and talents to inspire our youth. He is a faithful member of the New Gideon Baptist Church. Al's ultimate desire is to bridge the philosophical divide between yesterday's history makers and tomorrow's leaders and innovators. Please join us in honoring Alejandro Perkins, a 2021 SULC Hall of Fame graduate.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for missing the FAMU game, the LSU game, just to come here and listen to all these things they're saying about us. But seriously, I appreciate everyone's time for being here. Before I get started, I want to take care of a couple of housekeeping things. You sit up there, you do get text messages from people, so I'm going to take a little liberty on my 3 minutes, since the chancellor told me to make sure I take this privilege to do this. I want to recognize, before I get started, we have the president of the University of Louisiana System, my good friend, Dr. Jim Henderson here. Can you please stand, please? He is also a current student at Southern University Law Center. And I also have my good friend and immediate past chairman of the University of Louisiana System Board, Dr. James Carter, here as well. Knowing James, he's on the phone making a multi-million-dollar deal, so he'll owe me a steak at Ruth Chris after this, if you don't mind. Also, as the pictures are scrolling, you see a picture there with Charles Carter, Ashley Mitchell Carter, and myself. As you all know, we lost a major piece of Louisiana when she passed away in 2019. The Law Center lost a giant. I used to say future giant, but she's a giant, or she's already here. The good thing I know about her, she always believed in her spirit living through people, so you never really lost her because she invested in so many people. And I am glad that her mother, Gail Mitchell, has allowed me today to announce that we will be issuing our first scholarship in her name in the spring to celebrate her 10-year class reunion. I know we have several members of our very loyal, faithful group here. I just ask you guys to please stand here. The plastics is what they call it. It's a nickname. Thank you guys for being friends. I just want to take those 2 points of a privilege. I've been blessed, to say the least, Chancellor Pierre. I thank you so much for even giving me an opportunity to get on and to be with such esteemed other inductees. I've been blessed to be able to work with such a fine group of lawyers on a daily basis. I have 2 tables of them present here today. I ask you guys to please stand. This is who I actually spend most of my time with, is with Hammers and Seals, and many of them are here today. I thank each of them because they get a chance to deal with me in all kinds of different ways, different mood swings, different everything. You know, when you can work with people, you get a chance to really get to see them. And I just thank each one of them for enhancing my life, not just as a lawyer, but as a person. So thank each of you all. I've been blessed. I've been blessed to be able to have such a village of people. I've been blessed to be able to have faculty and staff here at Southern University Law Center that have helped me become who I am. And I ask all the faculty and staff of you all here to please stand. Faculty, staff. Thank you. Professor Jones, stay standing. Don't be like a good Baptist minister. Stay standing. Stay standing. I want to personally thank you as being the faculty who really changed my direction and thinking about what being a professional was at the law center. It was not because I earned an A in any of his classes. In fact, I think the highest I may have earned was a B-, but I took him for every single class because he forced me to be better. And he gave me an example of what that means to be better. And he continues to do that. And I'm thankful for our friendship, his mentorship over the years, and the seeds that he has sowed in so many of us. So thank you, Professor. I've been blessed over having such wonderful mentors over the years. See, I didn't just happen to meet Professor Jones. I was actually handed off from Carl Connor to Professor Jones over there. Carl served as my mentor now for over 25 years. If you have an opportunity to get a mentor, please do it. They're invaluable. They're invaluable. They're invaluable. And Carl has showed me how to be both human and superhuman. Which, you know, a lot of people ask me, how do you have so much time to do all these things? And I said, well, my mentor is Carl Connor, and he has found some kind of way to make 24 hours into about 40 hours. So I have taken it. I have been blessed again with mentors such as Kim Boyle, who is here today. And as humble as she is, you know, she was our first Black female state bar president in Louisiana. And every time she had an opportunity to speak and I was in the room, she always threw what I call an alley-oop. She didn't talk about herself, she tried to talk about me, and I was a young lawyer at the time, and I said, why is she spending her time talking about me? This is her time. But she believed in the future, and she knew that it would make a difference. And I encourage all of us when we do have the time on the mind to recognize others, because when we don't, then we won't have a future. I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have many of my fraternity brothers here today. Some come from out of state in here, and that changed my entire life. I have two of my men coming from out of town. I've also been blessed because I've done my marker about my time. But as you can see, I've had a village that has helped me throughout my whole life. My main village is obviously my family, because most of them are here at the front table. My three daughters who we mentioned, Alexia, Zaya, and Nova. My wife, Dina, she has seen it all, to say the least. And I thank her so much for going through this journey with me. My aunt and uncle, Nadine and Elder, my cousins, Dana and Aaron, I thank you all for being here. Southern Law School has changed my life, as y'all can see. It started here. And it was interesting hearing the story about a Xavier and a Howard connection that started Southern Law. Well, the Xavier and Howard connection hopefully will make history on Monday when we have a major vote with the University of Louisiana system determining the next president of Northwestern State University, which I believe will be the first black president of that university. So I'm very excited about what happens when you get together. I'll leave you guys with this. I lost my mom about a year ago, year and a couple months ago. And as you all know, when you lose a mother, you have before you lose and then after you lose. It's a bright line test. And my mom invested a lot of time, my father as well. My mom invested a huge amount of time with me. And after we had laid her to rest last year, I had a chance to go through her belongings and my grandmother's belongings. And inside of the Bible, because you know that's where we keep our stuff. Inside of the Bible, I found a letter and I unfolded it. And when I unfolded the letter, it was my acceptance letter from Southern University Law Center. And I had forgotten that I even had the letter and had sent it to my mom. And my mom had then taken that letter and sent it to my grandmother. And there was a sticky note on top of the letter that said, Mom, writing to my grandmother, her mother, he did it. He made it. Our baby is going to be a lawyer. And needless to say, I'm thankful for her. I'm thankful for everything, every sacrifice that she made. But I'm thankful for the Southern University Law Center. Because here, we're more than just advocates in the courtrooms. We're advocates in the boardroom. We're advocates everywhere we go. And I thank you all so much for your time. Thank you.
It appears that Attorney Perkins is the only inductee to this point who has abided by the 3-minute rule. And we're going to give him a special award. He was first, did the threat just like start decreasing as it goes. So thank you so much. We owe you. We're going to be that smoothie king for the rest of us. Next, we have Laurencia Pierce, class of 1999. Attorney Laurencia Pierce joined the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs in 2015 as a public-private partnership coordinator executing such legal memorandums of understanding between VA and Bob Woodruff Foundation, LinkedIn, and more recently, Prudential and our Hiring Our Heroes. In 2016, she led an interagency effort to update and execute the 2014 Transition Assistance Program, TAP, Memorandum of Understanding between the Department of Veteran Affairs, Department of Labor, Department of Defense, Department of Education, Small Business Administration, Office of Personnel Management, and the United States Coast Guard, representing the Department of Homeland Security. This updated MOU strengthened the framework of the TAP interagency partnership, resulting in enhanced delivery of TAP courses to transitioning service members, their spouses, and caregivers. Pierce also served as an assistant director for VA Insurance Service Program Management Division, where she administered the development of strategic initiatives and maintained oversight of the business system support, policies and procedures, actuarial, budget and business processes, accounting and training units. Prior to joining insurance service, she served as the Freedom of Information Act officer and implemented FOIA workflow system, which led to a 95% decrease in processing. I'm going to stop so we can hear that. A 95% decrease in processing time for VA's home loan guarantee service. Additionally, as LGY's senior legislative policy analyst and legal liaison, she ensured alignment of LGY policies and regulations with VA strategic goals and statutory guidelines. She assisted with writing and garnering congressional approval for what is now popularly known as the Veterans Interest Rate Reduction Refinance Loan. As a result, service members and veterans are afforded a streamlined process to lower their monthly mortgage payments and or interest rate. In 2018, Pierce was instrumental in standing up the Office of Transition and Economic Development, the Veteran Benefits Administration's newest business line. She served as acting executive director and deputy director for the same. Later in 2019, she was handpicked to lead VA's Independent Military to Civilian Readiness Program Integrated Office and went on to successfully garner a VA DODD Veterans Home. Well, not really, because the pages are stuck. Okay, all right, so a Veterans something. Joint Executive Committee, that's what it is. A Joint Executive Committee approval for a congressionally recognized military to civilian readiness framework. She now manages VA's Transition Assistance Program, which provides VA benefits and services, courses to 250,000 transitioning service members across more than 350 military installations across the world. She also serves as a proud ex officio member of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee on Women Veterans, representing the Veterans Benefits Administration. Prior to joining VA, she served as the first female and African-American Deputy Secretary for the Maryland Department of Veteran Affairs, and later as a Commissioner for Maryland State Veterans Home. Pierce served as a Staff Judge Advocate General in the military. She is married to a recently retired service member. They have 3 children. Pierce graduated from Southern University Law Center in 1999. Please join us in honoring Laurencia Pierce, a 2021 SULC Hall of Fame inductee.
So I'm usually a stiletto girl, but I had foot surgery, so I had to go with these bedazzled sandals. Good evening to you all. I just want to start by saying earlier, Trina, you said it's something about the Law Center, Southern University Law Center, that for whatever reason, we don't know what it is, it's a special sauce, but it can't be replicated. And that just summarizes it. It is something special about this law school. And so I just had to say, that's how I felt for a very, very long time. And sometimes it may not be that it can't be replicated, it's that they choose not to. So good evening. Thank you, Southern University Law School, Law Center Hall of Fame, Selection Committee, faculty and staff, and Ms. Robin for all your coordinating, particularly for our ever-changing guest list. And last, but certainly not least, Chancellor John Pierre, whose forward-thinking leadership has matured this prestigious law school beyond a quality curriculum and bar exam prep to legal clinics that support underrepresented populations in local communities, to cutting-edge cybersecurity and data privacy certifications. To the other honorees, congratulations. I pray that this is one of many next chapters in your book of accomplishments. A special thank you to my mother, Catherine Scott Pierce, who taught me resilience, and develop my community conscience. Thank you to my gone but not forgotten grandmother and godparents, and the many ancestors before them who I know would be proud. Thank you to my amazing husband, Lieutenant Colonel Aaron M. Pierce, retired, my daughter, Kirsten Gillette Pierce, who went through law school with me, Christian and Christopher for enduring my work ethic and high expectations for each of you. You make me proud, and I do everything for you guys to lead as an example, as Trina said earlier, with my reasons. Lastly, thank you to the long list of friends and family members who have joined me in celebrating both in person and virtually. My village is strong, and I am grateful. Would you guys please stand? One of the honorees here today is my brother, Lindsey Scott. Lindsey served as me and my brothers, Johnny and Jeremy's first mentor and role model. Today's Hall of Fame recognition is that cutting into my 2 minutes? Okay. Today's Hall of Fame recognition is more than a shared accomplishment. This moment represents 2 things. First, it is metaphorically a beautiful validation that walking in the footsteps of a wise person leads to a wonderful outcome. God gives you guardian angels, and my first angel was born 1 year ahead of me. I followed his strategic footsteps, and it led me to Southern University Law Center, where I found my independent leadership voice and separate path. Second, this recognition represents that separate path. It was more than Southern University Law Center. It's more than a high-quality curriculum and faculty. It was a supportive environment like none other. Examples. 1L. The first year of law school is the eliminator. The course is rigorous. You eat, breathe, and sleep case law. I was a single parent. Midway my first semester, I was served with a custody lawsuit at the law center. Professor Frank, my family law professor, knows his students. That's how intimate this environment is. And noticed that I was distracted and called me to his office. I explained what was happening, and he prepped me to represent myself in my first unofficial case. I won. Hashtag, when young people, vested. The professors there are vested. 2L. The class of 1999 was cemented. Natural attrition had done its job. That year, I got to know so many amazing people who I now call family. We lift each other up almost weekly in our class of 1999 group chat. Hashtag family beyond DNA. My third year of law school, there had only been one female student bar association president before me, one. I graduated in 1999. My confidence by then had flourished so much as the result of Southern University's Law Center's culture. I leveraged the analytical, strategic thinking expected of a Southern University Law Center third-year student and ran a campaign around women empowerment. Professor Russell Jones, thank you for encouraging me to run and keeping me encouraged the whole process. You're amazing. I thank you. Hashtag lawyer leaders. Ultimately, I owe Southern University debt of gratitude for not only the high quality education I received, but for cultivating me so much that I chose to step out from my brother's footstep and find my own path when I joined the U.S. Air Force Judge Advocate General Corps. I simply would not have accomplished any of the things that attributed to this Hall of Fame selection but for my Southern University Law Center experience. I conclude my remarks with a message to the current student body or anyone out there that's thinking about a law school. There are many law schools whose curriculums might afford you the best opportunity to prepare to pass a state bar of your choice. But there is only one law school that will prepare you to become your best lawyer leader. From the chancellor to the cleaning staff, you will know you are part of something bigger. They are vested, they are family beyond DNA, they develop lawyer leaders. And I thank you for this opportunity and this honor. Over.
Last, but certainly not least, and you can go as long as you want. I'm just kidding. Certainly not least, I am pleased to announce this evening's final 2021 Hall of Fame inductee, Lindsey Scott, class of 1998. Lindsey Scott is a civil litigation attorney who has focused his practice primarily on the area of injury law. He has compiled 21 years of experience in the representation of litigants in various state and federal court jurisdictions, including extensive trial and appellate advocacy. Scott is currently the senior attorney of the Lindsey Scott Law Firm, where he has been involved and developed a steady emphasis on civil jury trial practice. Scott was born in Baton Rouge in the community which neighbors Southern University and has thus been connected to the university his entire life. He obtained a Bachelor of Arts, Political Science from Southern University in 1993, where he was also a four-year letterman on the football team. He is a 2003 inductee in the Southern University Athletic Hall of Fame. Scott is a 1998 graduate of Southern University Law Center. While a student here, he became a member of Moot Court 1997, where he was awarded the distinction of Best Oral Advocate. As a student, he gained valuable experience while clerking for some of SULC's most noted alumni, where he developed a passion for civil motion practice and a firm command of civil procedural law. Throughout his career, he has mentored, developed, and employed countless graduates of the Southern University Law Center. Scott, the father of three, has devoted his spare time to mentoring youth. He has been an athletic trainer of elementary, high school, college, and professional athletes. He also enjoys computer programming. He is a licensed residential contractor and a licensed pilot. While Scott's passion is, in essence, a synthesis between faith, family, community, and the law, he is forever grateful for the role which Southern University Law Center played in helping him set his course. Please join us in honoring Lindsey Scott, a 2021 SULC Hall of Fame inductee.
You know, Robin, when you emailed me and asked me to send you a bio, I was like, what is the purpose of this? Now I realize it's your own pep talk. I needed that. I needed that because it reminds me of what the law school has done for me. You know, that cliche, you know, that's not what the institution can do for you, but what you can do for it. This Southern University Law Center gave me purpose. So as young people, we come up, we wonder, what is our purpose? Where will we find our purpose? Well, we realize that our purpose is people-driven. People drive our purpose. Our love for our loved ones drive our purpose. I found my purpose early on with my mother, Catherine Scott, who's here, who raised 4 children, 2 lawyers, a computer programmer, and a state trooper on pennies. I found my purpose from a grandmother who raised her much the same way, who took the words cannot and never from our words, from our vocabulary, and replaced them with you will, boy, and you must. You'll grow a little bit in your life, and then you'll start to set examples. You realize that, wait a minute, I have a sister who's 1 year younger than me, and 2 brothers, and you realize that somebody's going to have to follow in your footsteps. So then you'll find your people or your purpose. God will, if we're lucky, as I've been blessed with 3 children, God will bless you, and you realize that you'll find your purpose in them. But as an African-American male, who sometimes we wonder what would it be like to trace our lineage all the way back to the motherland, and we long for that, and we strive to create our own legacy. And then one day you walk into a law school and you realize you're about to walk into a legacy that was already set for you. A group of men and women who will sit there every day and the love and dedication will direct you to your purpose. I found that when I walked into those doors. A group of men. Chancellor John Pierre, who was my law professor at that time, who for some strange reason was very friendly and would talk to me and spend time talking to me about what was going on in my life and things outside the law and classroom, who cared about me as a person. I found that in Judge Fred Pitcher, former chancellor, who would stop by my office when I first started to practice and would send me cases and took a personal interest in me getting my personal interest, my practice off and running early on. I found that in Judge Ralph Tyson. I found that in Russell Jones, who every single day exposed me to how I should come and how I should go. In court, in the streets, as we represent this great institution. I found that in the late Edsel Cunningham, who was in that lineage of attorneys who sat there on Plank Road in that office where Ralph Tyson and Freddie Kitchen once opened. I found that in Professor Leroy White. I found that in Professor Tidwell. I found that in Raven Simmons, who practiced in this community for years and years. And then one day I found the connection that would change my life. I was running for city council and bumped into a lawyer, a graduate from Southern University by the name of Johnny Matthews. And he said, son, if you lose this race, I want you to come, I'm gonna offer you a job. And I said, I'm gonna win this race. Well, I lost. Thank God I lost. Because I walked into his office and he systematically taught me the art of Louisiana civil trial practice. And he taught me how to fall in love with personal injury law in the context of the Code of Civil Procedure. Johnny Matthews was yet one of the last pieces of that legacy that would send me into the real world. And the bar came. And you think, how do you leave Southern University? You leave feeling like you're a bad man. Because you're standing on the backs of some bad men and women. You're standing on the backs of Murphy Bell, famous Louisiana civil rights trial attorney. You're standing on the backs of individuals who the first class of 13, You stand on the backs of individuals who struggle that year after year after year to pass the bar. You leave this institution without a doubt in your mind that whoever they sit in front of you, they are in trouble. So what is our purpose? Southern University, we still live in a system, a justice system that disproportionately imprisons African American men. That thinks marijuana and cocaine is worth a 30-year prison sentence, where crystal meth is worth 5 years. We still live in a system that recognizes the right of law enforcement to end those lives of those very individuals. This institution, this Southern University Law Center, continues to produce advocates that are dedicated to pulling down the scales of justice so that one day, there may truly be justice for all. I want to thank Professor Robert. I want to thank every member of Southern University Law Center, my family, my friends, for honoring me and recognizing me as a part of this great institution's history. Thank you.
The Southern University Law Center has celebrated many great accomplishments this academic year. Our students continue to receive national fellowships and job opportunities that would not have been possible without the education they receive from our diverse faculty and rich curriculum. I need to stop right there and just say, rich faculty, rich curriculum, which I am a part of. We thank you. We thank you, thank you, thank you. We want to thank all of you tonight because without your support, we could not be nationally recognized for having the most faculty diversity, being amongst the best school for African Americans, and recognized as one of the most diverse law schools. The Law Center continues to uphold its mission and values by providing access and opportunity to underrepresented racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups wanting to obtain legal education or support. It has been a pleasure to serve as your mistress of ceremony for this evening's Hall of Fame Gala. As I turn over the microphone to Chancellor Pierre, who will close out tonight's program with additional recognitions, acknowledgements, and remarks, I would just like to say, in memory of my grandmother, who said, "Love is action." Fabulous Five, you can all turn around and look at me now. When I say Fabulous Five, you to the I want to see you on the street. I say Fabulous Five, you turn around. Fabulous Five, Hall of Fame inductees of 2021. SULC loves you. Love is action. And through your active contributions to society, you have loved us back. Because when you shine, we shine. And we thank you. Thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Professor Alfred. Thank you, Dr. Collins, for the inspirational prayer. The evening has been well spent. We could not do this without the support of a lot of sponsors. So we have platinum sponsors that are all located in the program, bronze sponsors, we have general sponsors and table sponsors. We had a golf tournament, and we had golf hole sponsors. We had golf cart sponsors. We had car sponsors and many in-kind gifts that allowed us to put these events on over the last few days. So again, we can't do this without the support of so many people. And we appreciate that support because that is how we're able to continue to grow and advocate for so many opportunities for so many people. One thing that I like to do is actually this whole process of Hall of Fame programming was actually started by my predecessor, Freddie Pitcher, Jr., retired judge and Chancellor Emeritus. Couldn't be with us this evening, but again, we keep building, and of course, you met Chancellor Emeritus Acknowledgements. Between the two of them, the Law Center had 40 years of stable and rock-solid leadership. Now, we come here because we want to really recognize these great men and women, but we also want to set an example for our students and other alums. So I'd like for our alums and students to rise, please. Come on, rise up. And I know that some of our staffers were out early, but I'd like for our faculty and staff to again rise because they're the people that make this place. And James Carter, you were on the phone making $1 million deal, but I asked Alejandro to make sure that we recognize our great colleague at the University of Louisiana Assistant Board of Supervisors, James Carter, and Howard guy. He may be an honorary Howard guy. And if it weren't for the great men of Howard, Southern University Law School would not be here today. So again, always acknowledge the Howard man. But, you know, this evening has been well spent. Now, after this, we want to take pictures of the Fab Five. That's right, the Fab Five. That was a group that played basketball in Michigan, but we got a group right here, the Fab Five. Mr. Steve here will take wonderful photos that will illuminate your offices and places of honor for the rest of your lives. And the real key to all of this is that we've always said that Southern University and the Southern University Law Center was like a family. And we really mean that. We really, really mean that. That those connections, you know, I have a habit, and some of my colleagues will wonder why I did that. Every time I walked into a class, on the very first day, I had every student introduce themselves to me. Tell me where they were from, what university they went to, and so on and so on. And they said, well, why are you going to do that? I said, well, first of all, I got to know who's in the classroom. And if they tell me certain things, I can figure it out. But more importantly, especially for incoming first-year students, many of them have relationships that they don't even know about with each other. And the way they all get there, they may come, as they say, on separate boats, all right, but they have a lot in common. So it's that ability to tie in those missions, to figure out where people come from, how it all relates. It's extremely important because that ensures that Southern University Law Center remains a special place. See, as I tell my current students, you're walking on holy ground. You're walking in a historical place. And you put this on your calendar. On September 2nd, 2022, we're going to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Southern University Law Center. We're going to have some things, special things going on. We couldn't make it on September 1. There were certain things booked. But September 2nd was just as good. When we did the 70th, we put it right on September 1st. It was a Friday. It worked out real well, but this is just as good. And the point is that when they started Southern University, the school got $40,000 to start. And we're one of what they call the Gaines Law School. I'm going to give you a little history for those of you. There was a man who was an alpha. His last name was Gaines. That filed a lawsuit in Missouri to get admitted to the University of Missouri Law School. The Supreme Court, he was represented by Thurgood Marshall. The Supreme Court essentially opened the door for what would become the ability to have Brown v. Board decided. And the states and the southern and border states recognized, oh, we've got a different situation going on here. And so 4 law schools were created right after the Gaines case over a series of years. North Carolina Central University Law School, Southern University Law School, Thurgood Marshall, or Texas Southern University Law School, and actually the university itself, and then Florida A&M Law School. And we're the 4 Gaines Law Schools. That's what we're collectively known as, the 4 Gaines Law Schools. And us, those 4 schools, and the 2 other ABA accredited HBC law schools, Howard University, we celebrated over 150 years this past year, and University of District of Columbia. Those 6 law schools, which consist of 3% of America's accredited law schools, there are over 200 law schools, produce more than 25% of African American lawyers in this country. But in addition to that, there are some of the most diverse law schools in America. Texas Southern has a large Latino and Caucasian population. Florida A&M, Southern University, North Carolina Central. Very diverse law schools. So our schools have transformed themselves. They have become bigger than life. And our value and our importance will continue for the next 75 years. So, it is an honor for me to have been a part of Southern University Law Center and to be able to serve as this chancellor and to have all of these Fab 5 students. I remember them as students, and they all come from different places and spaces, but they had grit, resilience. You see, when you listen to these stories, you listen to stories about grit and resilience. That's the critical thing. Grit and resilience. And you can't measure that in a score. You can't necessarily measure that in grades. It's about something that's transformational. And so we tell that to our students every day. You have the grit and the resilience to be world changers. And so we thank you for joining us. Again, you missed out on a FAMU football game at home and LSU and Alabama game. I'm pretty sure that there's lots of folks watching that game to be with us, and we are honored, and we thank you. Have a good evening. The time was well spent, and we thank you very much. So,